This is a short audio story by Dale M. Chatwin, read by the author. Story titled Diary Entry 1107, Graze After Thee and Weep. The dusk is a miasma of sin, and the waning sky is preceded by the velvet gore of sunset. I see blood in the kingdom of heaven. In the air, the web of my sensitive nostrils catches the metallic meaty aromas of our mingled iniquity. The sun descends into the west, along with another slither of my sanity. It is time to graze. That is what we have come to call it, grazing. It was Raoul, our leader, who designed that term for our religious ritual. He said it lessens the impact of what we do and somehow makes it holy. To him, it is spiritual. To us, it is survival. The clouds are distracting me. They are jagged, with lumps of celestial fluff falling from them, like the ancient ruins of some forgotten sky-dwelling race of giants. Upon this dusk, those clouds are pregnant with blood. Within them gestates a foreboding at this, the last sunset of the month. My wife is pregnant. Within her gestates another lost generation born into this world of decaying memory and a future of slaughter. Will my child perform the ritual of grazing, or will they suffer a much worse fate, the fate of the farmed? I do not wish for both, as they are both equally horrifying. Either she loses her humanity to survive, or she helps others to survive in this ghastly place of sin. A shiver has enraptured me. My eyes are averted to the wretched flesh slumped just beyond the confines of our ghoulish fire. The poor thing weeps. It does not understand its purpose, but an atavistic survival in its mind tells it something is wrong, something deeply wrong. It does not have a choice in the matter. As one of the farmed, its destiny is to die. We graze to thrive. We graze to remain alive. We graze to be revived. We graze to survive. It is the mantra we repeat around the fire, slaked with blood and intoxicated from the adrenaline of what we perform. It was Raoul who laid down that mantra, Raoul who taught us how to survive in this yawning gap of existence. My stomach clenches, a coalescing of hunger and revulsion. Hunger always overcomes. In the final tendrils of sunlight, the wretched flesh that looks like me is brought forth, bleating like a distressed lamb, and the bloodletting begins. Nothing smiles when night makes its abode in our corner of the world. I observe the sluicing scarlet plasma pouring into the cask, filled once more with additional sustenance. Waste not, want not, I have always been told. Waste is a word that no longer appears in our vernacular. How wrong we are, for in this diary I do say that we are beings of waste. We are wasting away, wasting our lives, and even wasting life itself. Our minds are a wasteland of sin. Do I really want to raise my child in this place? I fear I might not have a choice. The outer dark is oppressive. It struggles against the fire, and for a while It is kept to the confines of its primordial sack. This patch of land I am calling home this night used to be fields, so I am told by our old folk, though that was a long time ago, before the withering, when this place was still called England. All I see now is dust and rubble, mouldering facets of a long-ago world, now sewn across this land like malformed jigsaw pieces, never to be formed again. I am overwhelmed by a fresh, metallic, meaty aroma. It never gets any easier. I have been grazing for 25 years, and the stench still loops and knots my intestines. We graze to thrive. Somewhere out there, in the soupy darkness, I hear the scraping of blades against whetstones. One of them will be Raoul. He calls himself the sculptor, for it is he who sculpts the flesh to cure our starvation. My leg quivers with anticipation. How long since we last grazed? 9 days? Since then, it has been shriveled scraps and stale blood pudding. I try to resist, extending my hunger until I feel the spasms of my fading willpower metamorphose into pain. Beyond the boundary of the fire come the grunts and heavy breathing of those who carve the meat. After some time, Raoul sits next to me. His hands and face are slathered with gore, and he places beside him the blood-soaked blade. He smiles at me, and I wonder if he can sense my machinations. He had always said that grazing can imbue certain people with unique abilities. Maybe he has the gift of foresight. I shudder. The meat sizzles on the fire. The funk of flesh draws in the others. They shamble towards the fire like spectres, my wife included. She sits beside me, and we kiss. My mind is made up. I am leaving this place, this family. I am taking my wife and unborn child far from here. There are tales of sanctuaries in the north. That is where we will venture. A life away from sin, a life away from grazing. A globule of fat plops into a cluster of coals and sputters. Raoul finally speaks. What was once us was become farmed. What was farmed becomes grazed. He continues with our mantra. Then we are maddened by the flesh we consume. As the cooked meat is passed around the dancing flames, I see my family dance too, their minds, their hearts, their very essence driven into frenzy. Such is the way of the Graze. Raoul gives to me a lump of thigh steak, which I greedily lick and chew only after he begins to eat. The juices permeate my saliva, and I too feel the frenzy of the Graze. I join my family in the dance, all of us made beasts in human form, bellies full of our own kith and kin, we wail and growl into the night. In a moment of madness, I seize Raoul's blade and thrust it into his neck, watching the gore spurt into the fire. I lose myself and pierce his flesh over and over, feeling the blade puncture his vitals, my arms, my face, my body decorated with his sanguine fluid. Thoughts of escaping with my family flood my every thought. I plunge the blade until it breaks in my hand, and I am broken out of my illusion. Raoul stares at me and asks if I am all right. I stare back. Nothing will change. This is our home. It always will be. All I can do is graze and weep. Graze and weep.